Hi-oh, beaver! Away!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to KritzKast. We have a grand final for you here tonight. We have the finale of the UGC Platinum Highlander season in Europe. And it's two very informed teams so far coming up against each other to contest for what would be their maiden UGC title. In one corner, we have Feila eSports, who we could say have been the bridesmaid a few times, never the bride. I think they've got third place medal here and there. Up against them is Gimme opponent, which is made up a lot of Envision players who have been doing pretty well for themselves in ETF2 Premiership so far this season. Whoever wins tonight will, of course, win their first ever Platinum title. We'll have a new winner of the UGC European League. I am CeeJaey, and joining me today is Stinson out with Wiethoofd on the camera. Stinson, how are things?
Hello everybody and welcome to this awesome match we're gonna have ahead here, because UGC is always fun, you know. You have players that don't take it seriously, you have players that take it more seriously, and this is gonna be the grand final, so the title's up for grabs. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that these teams actually do want to win at this point, you know. A lot of European teams don't consider UGC that competitive, but you know, once you're in the grand finals, you do want to have that gold medal.
Absolutely. I said this in the, I think it was the lower bracket final we did, where Gimme opponent beat TC Frosties. And we were kind of talking about how, you know, UGC, okay, so it's considered really the minor league in Europe. ETF2 is the major league. Whoever wins that is really considered the big boys on the block. And UGC is just kind of something that teams scrim for, something that teams, you know, new teams want to put together a roster. But when you do get to the playoffs, people are kind of like, okay, now we're in it. Now we're getting to kind of the meat of the competition. We do want to actually get that medal, and there is a medal on the line here, guys. You know, whoever loses here today will get a second place, but whoever wins will get a shiny first place UGC Platinum medal. And you know, not many people can say that they got that. I mean, actually, there's probably quite a lot of them with people with them now. But you know, this is a brand new season, and you know, this is a grand final. No one turns up to a grand final thinking, oh hey, whatever. They're going to want to win.
Yeah, and also those, like I said, these teams like have never actually won anything in the highest division in Europe. So, you know, obviously strong opinions. And STCK did not play this UGC season because they wanted to have break from scrimming and, you know, just kind of relax. So these two teams who have been, especially Feila, have been kind of the second like best top-notch teams in the second row, like 1B teams. You know, they want to prove that their own, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see some hot gaming here tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I would argue that these are two of the most informed teams in Europe at the moment. Okay, so it may not be their full rosters that they would, you know, they're repping in ETF2, but Feila eSports coming into the season have been getting some pretty good wins against the big names of Europe, you know, and Envision, which is, you know, what Gimme opponents' roster is mostly made out of. They last night they actually managed to beat Tourette's Chess Club, so they are they're not doing too badly for themselves either. So you know, it's two teams who are kind of in form, and they were the top two seeds after the regular season. If we take a look at the brackets, Feila eSports were the top seed, which meant they had arguably an easier ride. I mean, that's what you'd expect if you were a higher seed. So they're on opposite sides of the bracket. They didn't actually face each other until the upper bracket final. And in that situation, Feila eSports, they knocked out Doctors of Mediocrity. Sorry, Stinson. They knocked out the Art of Throwing. Meanwhile, Gimme opponent knocked out Kitty, a former Prem team there, and Xenon, who are a pretty informed high team, I would say. And then Feila eSports and Gimme opponent faced each other in the upper bracket final, and the upper bracket final, and Feila eSports won that 2-0, knocking down Gimme opponent to the lower bracket. They did fight their way through, though. We did see it last Monday, or last Thursday, I believe it was. Gimme opponent winning against TC Frosties 2-0. So they've suffered that one setback, and they've kind of like brushed themselves off, did what they needed to do, got themselves up into this grand final. And the way that UGC works, which is slightly different to ETF2, as Feila eSports are the top seed and that they've come through the upper bracket, they haven't lost a game so far in the playoff stage. If Feila eSports win this game today, they are crowned champions of UGC. They are your UGC Platinum European champions in Highlander. However, if Gimme opponent win, let's say they win this match tonight, then we have a bracket reset, which means they don't actually win the title here. We'll have to come back on Thursday for a rematch between these two teams, another best of 3, and the winner of that match will be crowned champions. So hopefully everybody can follow that. Basically, if Feila win here tonight, champions. If Gimme opponent win, we come back on Thursday to see who is the final champion.
Oh man, don't we all root for Gimme opponent now? I gotta say though, Feila eSports looks strong here in the brackets, and I think I heard rumors of the first encounter of these two teams in the EU Platinum upper bracket semifinals was pretty decisive. I think Gimme opponent didn't even cap second point on Upward this last time or something like that. So, definitely the favorites are Feila, but let's talk a little bit about the maps here, as we have, I believe, Payload Upward, King of the Hill Product, and Payload Borneo as a decider. Upward and Product are pretty much standard at this point. Borneo has been kind of in and out of the rotations, both ETF2 and UGC. What do you think about those maps? What key classes, what key, kind of strategy is it going to come down to?
It's so great. I love to have a grand final with Upward and Product in. It's just they're just your classic Highlander maps by now. They're absolutely brilliant. Upward, I think Upward, the interesting thing about Upward is that Pyro is going to be really decisive. We're seeing a lot more Pyro pushes after the Jungle Inferno update. Pyro has had that bit of a damage buff. So we are seeing a lot of aggressive Pyro plays coming on this map. So it'll be interesting to see how the Pyros come into this. We've got two strong Pyros on either side, but also the Snipers as well. Sniper is so strong on payload in general, but on Upward, if you can get your sniper well protected, then it's very, very difficult for a team to push in. Of course, this is UGC. Whitelists are different between the leagues. In UGC, the Razorback is banned, so even though there was the nerf to it after the Jungle Inferno update, Razorback is continuing to be banned for the rest of this season, as the update did come mid-season. So there's no option for the snipers to equip that little bit of wood on their back to prevent them from getting backstabbed. So I suppose that's a little bit easier for spies to create an opening for them. But also I think the same to be said on Product as well. Snipers and spies are going to rule the day. If they can get a lot of space and they get a bit of a spree going on, you can really just knock the momentum into your favor. And if we do go to Borneo, that's a map that's not in ETF2 this season. It's not a map that I've played for a few months now, actually. So it'll be interesting to see if we do go there. I think it'll be for all the money, won't it? It'll be the decider map if we get to that third map. So I'm excited for the first two maps, and Borneo will be a little bit of a bonus if we do get there.
Yeah, I actually do enjoy watching and playing Borneo. Yeah, it's probably not a very popular opinion, but I do like the flow of the map, and I do like that every point is actually holdable. Like, on most somewhat older payload maps, you would just give up one or the other point. You would focus, especially in Upward, you would not really commit to the first point. Or in Badwater, you wouldn't commit to the first point. You would rather set up on the second and third point. In Borneo, every hold is viable. That's when every team can make a comeback. Even though you got rolled to your fourth or last point, you can still put up a really good fight there and then stall the game out. So I hope we're gonna go to Borneo because I want to see as much TF2 as we can. But I'm not sure. I have the dirty feeling that Feila is gonna take this in 2 maps. CeeJaey, what are your predictions?
Oh, it's difficult. I mean, this is UGC playoffs, and the rules for UGC playoffs are that you only play each map to a half. So you only play one half. So in King of the Hill, you play first to 3. In 5CP, you play is it first to 4?
First to 4, yeah.
Yeah, and then Payload, you only play one attack defense phase. So basically, one team attacks, the other team defends, and then you try to beat that time, and whoever wins that round, that's it. That is it for your Payload round in playoffs. The teams can play best of 3, which is usually tradition if both of them agree. But I have had a contact with the teams, and apparently they are playing best of 1. So I think that's going to be quite decisive here. If we if we get to a situation where one of the teams can set quite a fast time, it will put the pressure on. And I do agree, Feila are the favourites here. They don't have their full roster that you would normally see. I don't think, Cloudy's not here. He was playing for TC. I don't think Poker's here either. I think he was playing for a UA player. But basically, it is a stronger team on paper. And I think they're the guys that are going to be kind of dictating the flow of the game. But if Gimme opponent can come out the blocks and really, set a good time or get a good defense, it's really going to put pressure on Feila. And, from then on, it's kind of anyone's game, I do feel. So, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I think Feila are the favourites, but it's up to Gimme opponent to make sure that they actually have a foot in this final.
Fair enough. As we say that though, we have 17 players on the server, so I would go over the rosters real quick, and I'm gonna try to figure out who's gonna play with Feila eSports. I've not followed UGC, so forgive me if I do make any mistakes, but so far I can see Kuno is going to be on the sniper class, Mezzo on spy, Kultu on heavy, Joe and on demo and later on medic. That's the most important thing. That's the core of the team, I feel like. Not sure who is hiding behind the name, the effing Chapter, but he's probably gonna play soldier. We're gonna have Yellow on engineer, Trusses on scout, and Strno on pyro.
Yeah, Shambler is in fact Sandburn, the demo for STCK.
Okay.
And I can see your confusion, but Mezzo is not playing. That's Mezzo +8. That's the tag for Tomato.
That's Tomato. Okay.
So Tomato's playing
fall
spy.
for Tomato memes. So.
Yeah, I mean, Mezzo was supposed to play today, but unfortunately he wasn't very well, I've been told. So shout out to Mezzo. Hopefully he gets better soon. He'll be missed from this final. He's a very talented spy, but it'll be his fellow German playing Tomato, who obviously has Premier experience himself. So he'll be the one stepping in to the fold. But taking a look at the Gimme opponent roster, we do only have 8 of them, but like since I'm going to try to work out who's playing what. So I do believe we're going to have Scruff on Scout. I think Scruff was on the winning team in high sixes, or he may have been on the losing team in the final. I can't actually remember. I think he was on the winning team, but he's a very, very talented scout. Soldier is going to be I Stole Your Bees. Garden Fungus is playing Pyro. Yixo on demo. Tuja, the big Hungarian heavy, is going to be on the Putis. Barrett on engineer. Tercio on medic. Stinghan on sniper. And Tommy on spy. We are live now, but we're just sorting out some configs now, so I'm not sure if we're actually fully underway just yet. But the interesting thing I see here, Simpson, is that the Gimme opponent roster was slightly different in the lower bracket final. We had Tercio, I think, was playing demo, stuff like that. This is much more like their Envision side. Yixo, Tuja, Tercio, that combo is what they play with. Stinghan's on sniper. Normally they have Kuno on sniper, so Kuno's actually playing against his ETF2L teammates here. But Bees and I'm not sure who their regular scout is. Do forgive me, my brain is having a brain fart. But Bees is their soldier. Scruff, I'm not sure he's their main. But Garden Fungus is playing instead of Vlad. So this is actually a pretty strong roster. And Big Tommy 27 on Spy. I mean, all memes aside, this guy is pretty good. This is not actually live, guys. So it's a chill. Stinson, calm down.
I'm so happy. I was ready to go here, CeeJaey, but you didn't. No. Okay.
No.
It looks like they are kind of playing, but we're
being just waiting
told
for
it's not.
conflicts,
So
yeah,
don't worry, guys. Calm your panties. But what I'm gonna be looking at is here, like you said, Envision, a lot of talent, kind of hidden talent, but Ixo on Demo Man, he has played Prem last season actually, I believe, for Crazy Bike Clan.
Yep.
Also on the Demo Man class, and Garden Fungus is obviously a seasoned Pyro main, multiple Prem experiences. I think he was even Prem champion at some point with STCK, at least as a sub. So he has plenty of experience in Premiership division. We have Tercio, who is a good medic in sixes. I think he's playing high sixes medic, something like that. I've played with him before that. I was picking up for his team, so. There's talent there. There's potential there. And as we're being told, the conflicts are being fixed. We're gonna be live soon. But I have to say though, Feila have casted their game on last Thursday, I believe, and the combo Layla and Joe is always one to watch out for.
Yeah, I do have to raise a question mark over the fact that Poker's not there. Kaltu is there, but Kaltu is one of the most experienced players in Highlander.
Yeah, but he's
in
not
Europe.
good, is he?
Oh, shots fired! I'm gonna wait
Never
for
mind,
the
mate.
response in a WhatsApp chat later. But no, Kaltu, he has a lot of experience. He's a Prem finalist as a heavy. Let's not forget with It's All Good back in season 6. So he he's been around the block a few times. So I think the combo fight is going to be extremely interesting. I mean, Kaltu, Joe, Stronaway, on the combat classes up against Garden Fungus, Yixo, and Tuja. I think that's going to be really, really interesting. Whoever wins that, I think it could dictate the flow of the game. Because looking at the kind of the rest of the classes, the flanks, they're decent. We've got Justice on Scout and Sandburn playing Soldier. That's not really their main classes. Scruff and Bees, they are playing their mains, and it's maybe less well known as those other players in the Highlander scene. So it's kind of, you can kind of look at all of these and think, actually, these are quite equal. Stingan up against Kunu, it's kind of like team leader against main sniper. So I think Kunu is probably the more well known. He was the Prem debut of the season for season 13 in ETF2L.
Yes, he was.
So yeah, and he's been putting in some impressive numbers so far in the season. So I think if he's allowed to run riot, he could be the difference here today. I think Gimme opponent need to give a lot of support to Stinghand to make sure he's well protected and put pressure on Kunu. But that interaction between the combos are going to be interesting. But we are actually officially live now. This is actually the game. We do have Feila eSports in the blue. We have Gimme opponent in the red. So Feila eSports are going to be attacking first. They'll be trying to set as fast a time as possible. And Gimme opponent will be defending for as much as they can with their lives. And then they'll try to beat the time set by Feila. And this is, of course, UGC rules. Playoff rules in UGC dictate that it is only a best of one. So if Gimme opponent don't beat the time when they get to their attacking phase, then Feila eSports will take the first map. But since what are you going to be looking out for? We're in 20 seconds left of the setup time. What are you going to be keeping your eyes on?
And what I always like to see and look at is the first wave of suicides. Usually people go in with the soldier, a demo man, and just try to bomb the heck of the mate. Tertia is aware of this, of course, and the red team seems to be set up fairly standard with a sentry gun on the tracks. It is level 3, so here you go, CeeJaey did. Gates are opening, take it away.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at Tomato here. He's surveyed this one forward. He's just trying to get into position. Garden Fungus trying his best to spy check, but misses that little spy. And we just see the crits. It is the Feila crits. Garden Fungus goes down. Stingan goes down as well. Yixo is so weak here. Surely he's going to get taken out. He's 7 HP. He finally does go down from a headshot from Kunu there. And that is a huge crit. Tertiu still has his Uber, but his teammates are in a respawn queue for quite some time. You can hear the brass beast ringing out there from Tuja. He's using that strat. Must have picked it up from KritzKast. I've seen KritzKast use that for Chess Club recently. But we do see Layla only at 50% on her crits, and the respawns are coming in now for Gimme opponent. They have this Uber Stinson, but I think they're just going to get out with it.
I love this so much though, because Tertia now just pops the Uber to get out here, and if you do it well, if you can keep your medic alive, Layla that is in the blue team here, you can actually crit into the second point, and the red team is not going to have any defense up. The level 1 sentry is just being built, but they're pushing forward. There's the crit! They instantly get 3 people here. Ixo goes down as well. This is going to be a really fast second cap as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, this is probably, I would argue, Feila strats. We do know that the Joe and Layla combo love to use crits on pretty much any map, but it's also best of one strats. They want to just come out the blocks and go, boom, okay, let's go. And I do wonder if Gimme opponent were aware of that crit, because it didn't look like they were prepared for it. And I think the second cap is going to go down less than a minute for the first point. This is going to be less than 2 minutes. 1 minute and 33 seconds for the first 2 points. We do see some players going down though. Sandburn, Stronaway, and Tomato all dead for Feila eSports. So let me just slow down the push a little bit. It is equal, but of course Tertiu has that Uber charge in a couple of seconds, and his thing makes him go invincible, Stinson, whereas Layla only allows you to do more damage, and there's no point in using the crits unless, actually they take down Tuja. He gets dropped, and Yixo is going to get dropped as well. Tertiu is too far away to help out his combo, and they drop a demo and a heavy Stinson. They have an Uber, but who are they going to use it on?
I was gonna say, the Uber's only superior if you actually use it on your players, and now the Uber comes in into the scout, trying to get as many frags as you can. The Pyro is kind of trying to clean up here, but they do get Kaltu and Joe and Layla actually. So I'm not sure if they can reset here, but now that red team moves out. But yeah, what I was gonna say, I was gonna say you can just push in with the crits, force them, push back, and then build faster. But they just went straight in. Killed Heavy at the moment because Social was too far away. Now they're gonna try to get this card into position here. The Pyro shouting on Layla, though, gets Dark Fungus with a big play on Layla. So no medic for the blue team once again here. And let's see if red team can actually stabilize.
Look at Justice, he's actually managed to get the cap for free. He's just sat on the card, but Tomato with the double kill! He takes down Beast and Tercio. And then Tuja and Yixo also go down there. Tomato getting another frag for his logs there. Wow, absolutely insane. I was going to say I eat my words because they dropped their demo and their heavy, but then the Scruff and Gundam Fungus Uber just destroyed them, and it looked like they kind of stabilized there. But once again, just the drive push in from Feila. You see Joe's already on top right, spawn camping at the top area. Scruff is there, surely going to take down Sandburn, but they're just bleeding player distance, and Yixo goes down again. Kunu there with the headshot. And this is going to be really difficult for Gimme opponent. I mean, last point is one of those points where you can just stabilize yourselves, but you need to have players alive, and there's so many people in the respawn queue. Tomato comes in onto Tuja, he takes him down as well, still 4 down, and this could be an extremely fast time.
Oh, this is looking ugly, CeeJaey. Holy moly, this is gonna be such a fast time. It's 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Gee, I mean, last point is really well holdable, but not if you're already getting spawn camped the time you spawn, and Joe just put up the pressure on the unfair sniper balcony there, just stick the spawn, and we had snipers aiming at everybody, and the heavy was spamming across, so there was not really any space to go for Gimme opponent, and I have to say, CeeJaey, this is a complete roll up to this point here.
Yeah, I mean that's the Feila strat. Put crits on Joe, heal Joe, and hope that he gets the frags.
That's a fair point though, that's a fair point though. Like, advanced Prem spies should check the medigun once the door opens, right? Because medics who are a little bit cunning, they will go with Uber in the first few seconds, or even half a minute, maybe even 40 seconds of the setup time, and then switch to crits. Because crits never really works when the enemy team knows it's coming, so it always is a surprise factor. And it didn't look like they knew that, and the spy should have checked the medigun once the gate opened, and because they went right out of spawn, you could have seen their crits. But now let's see if Gimme opponent can come back here. It's really unlikely. They have no time for any suicides, so they're just gonna have to work their way in here. Scruff goes down to a sticky trap right away. Fungus takes a lot of damage. Ixo is working his way on the left side here up to the balcony thing, but it's already facing opposition here with Joe N.
Yeah, the Uber has been forced very early on though, and Tuja probably going to get fragged there by... Sorry, actually no, he survives! He floats away there. You know, he floats away like a butterfly, Stinson, but does he have time to sting like a bee? We have 3 minutes and 15 seconds left here. Tercio there is outspawned, he's using the Uber, but Yixo gets dropped early on. Joe there winning the demo battle with his stick. He's Garden Fungus, he's going to go out of this Uber, but he's just going to get pushed back by the sentry. This isn't looking good so far. Bees goes for the jump but can't get anything done, and so far Feila have used their Uber, but they've not lost any players, and that's the main thing. That sentry and that full quota of 9 players are still alive, and they're just kind of picking people off one by one here, and that's not what Gimme opponent are allowed. They can't allow this to happen. Yixo gets domed once again by Kunu. I would dare say this is almost GG, because there can't be any time for them to kind of have this downtime. As there you go, Kunu gets another one. He gets back. He gets scrubbed. He's can he get any more? He's on a 5k so far. Tommy does get the backstab onto Kaltu, so that may be an opening out. But this really does need to be ×3 on the cart non-stop. Plus Layla has 100% Uber in the bank. She can just use that and just protect her players to block them on the cart. And she does. She's going to use it onto Joe. He knows they have to be forward here. Get some damage, but it's just stalemating them out, Stinson. And I think Feila have pretty much won this map already.
Yeah, Kuno is just free farming PP at this point. He has no pressure whatsoever. Usually you see snipers, spies, as he gets taken out as I say that, but usually you have like a bunch of people bombing at least on the sniper deck here. Now the blue team will get to the point, they will get the high ground advantage here, and there you go, Feila just backs off, but it's way too slow, CeeJaey. It is not actually possible at this point, so I'm guessing this is garbage time now. I'm pretty sure Gimme opponent would like to cap second point just for the morale here, but most of them will already think about the second map.
Yeah, I mean, you can use this time to just kind of like, okay, let's like make sure we're not losing our focus and just trying to get some frags here and just keep the game in your head, keeping the mindset of actually playing, you know, TF2, playing Highlander. But this is garbage time. Like there is no physical way for them to cap this. And Feila eSports played that pretty much perfectly. They're using Uber here now with a conch just to kind of get some more frags for the logs, just to pad those stats out, make it look even more dominating. But I think that was won already after the first half. I mean, if you allow the team to just basically roll from first all the way to last like that, there was only really any kind of slowing around the third point. And even then, that was only for 30 seconds to a minute or something like that. So it's very difficult to say in hindsight, but Gimme opponent just needed to go balls to the wall, aggressive, and get something done, because there was no way that going, waiting for picks and going softly was going to get anything done here.
Yeah, I'm very sorry that we aren't really getting you the play-by-play here, but the last 30 seconds are gonna run out, and Feila eSports is gonna take the first map here. As making the way in the opponent but they can't even really cap the cyclone here. Cult is just being a total boss, hiding behind the rock, shooting everything that moves. Level 3 is up again, and this is gonna be GG here for Upward. Feila goes up 1-0 in the EU Plat Grand Finals. And in the first leg, CeeJaey, we have a crushing win for Feila.
Yeah, I do remember there was a comment made somewhere of the fact that they didn't cap second, and the comment was, let's see if we can at least cap second. They didn't. They didn't even have a chance to. I mean, I have logs here. It may be worth taking a look at the logs just to see if anyone got any big frags. I think in the fact that it was literally less than 10 minutes means there's not really much of a story to be told. I mean, we take a look at Sandburn on Soldier there and Kunu on Sniper, both getting 13 kills. They were the big fraggers. Joe there going 11 for 4 with just over 600 DPM. That crit certainly helped by taking down a few players each charge. No medic drops, nothing kind of that. It was basically just big crits plays and other players following in. I mean, you take a look at Scruff there with 9 and Tommy got 6 kills, and it's pretty much standard across the rest of the board, but it's the big kind of fraggers there. I mean, you take a look at Kunu, 18 headshots to Stingen's 2. If your sniper's dominating in that way and your demo's getting crits and he's actually getting the damage out, the rest of the players just need to kind of play their part.
Yeah, it is not the main Wiethoofd roster for Feila, but you think it's gonna be the same setup, right? In Wiethoofd they have Joe and Layla critzing everybody and have Cloudy farming, and now they have Kunu farming, so I think he fits in really well into kind of this carry sniper role, at least in this final so far, and Stinghan is having a rough time. But in Stinghan's defense, it's always really hard to snipe if your if your team doesn't give you space, right? You kind of walk out of spawn and already like 9 people are looking at you, whereas Kunu, who is playing in the dominant team, can just step up, kind of position himself and farm away. So Kunu is definitely not that much better as Luxay right now than Stinghan, but yeah, of course he is. If you're ahead, a sniper can really snowball the game in your favor.
I mean, yeah, from the moment the doors opened, when Joe came in with that crits, and he took down, I think he took down Garden Fungus and Stinghan.
Yeah.
So we take down a Pyro, which is really good at denying pushes, and a Sniper, which is really good at denying pushes by, killing people before they get too close. It's very, very difficult. So, you had a demo, Yixo got picked off quickly after that. I mean, I think he took a lot of damage and then got headshot in the end. So when you lose key classes like that, you're really on the back foot and you really need to basically solidify yourself. And I think Gimme opponent did the right thing. They were like, okay, second is a lost cause. Let's focus on third. And they did set themselves up somewhat adequately, but it just seemed the post-Uber exchange just didn't work out for them. I mean, we saw the crits come in. The crits picked off Tuja and EXO again, demo and heavy down. You think, oh, that's gone really badly. Feila are going to push in now. But then the counter Uber came out. Scruff and Garden Fungus both did extremely well to clean up a lot of players, including Layla. But in the end, when it was just a dry push, Justice just pushed the cart. Shout out to him. Again, not really showing up on the logs that much, but he pushed the cart just valiantly all the way. Managed to get that third point pretty much for free, and it was just kind of the loose chaos that Feila took advantage of and pushed it all the way to last. I mean, when you're defending, it's very difficult. When you're attacking, it's very difficult when you have such a short time. I remember when we played in the playoffs a couple of seasons ago with Strong Opinions, and we beat Highlander on, I think it was Barn Blitz, in about 2 minutes 40. It was such a fast time. And when we were defending, we were like, we can afford to give up a point or two. Like, we just need to play it safe.
Yeah.
So Feila just had all the time in the world to be like, we don't actually need to contest first point. We could just set up here, and it became really, really difficult for Gimme opponent when you basically run out of options. But Stinson, this is a totally different map now. Let's forget about what we just saw. We're going to be talking about product. This is King of the Hill.
Is it that different though? Like, you have King of the Hill product coming up, notoriously good for a couple of things. Demo men who like crits, snipers, insane sidelines on product, FUF dominance of the point, which, you're going to assume Feila is maybe going to get. And Sixes soldiers, maybe the one thing that Gimme opponent can have in their favor, that B's probably played this map a lot in Sixes, and maybe he can actually outplay his opposition, and Sunburn, who's not a soldier main. As we go live here though, we have Feila in the blue team again, we have Gimme opponent on the red team again. Take it away, CeeJaey. But we have a pause.
We have a pause. This is a great mid fight. I love it. I see just a sticky. Yeah, I just see the blue sticky in the air. But yeah.
Ooh. Hey, let's make a bet, CeeJaey. Who's gonna get hit by that first blue sticky above the midpoint?
So where's the blue sticky come from? I can't find.
My money is on Garden Fungus. It's right above the point, the blue sticky.
I think Garden Fungus has got a bigger brain than that. He's gonna see that sticky, and he's gonna air blast it away, or he's gonna shoot it with his shotgun. I mean, he's got his power jack out right now, so there is a chance he could get hit by it. But no, I'm gonna guess that he's gonna escape with 0 damage there. We do actually see, the floating demo there on the other side is Yixo. He's decided to go the opposite way. So Joe has gone through main, and Yixo has gone in through kind of the valley side, the slope. So they are going to be contesting from opposite sides of the point. So that'll be interesting to see what goes on there. I'm actually just going to take a look at Tercio because he is actually on the crit streak, Stinson. So maybe he's taking a leaf out of Joe and Layla's book and saying, hey, okay, fine, this is our map now. We're going to be running crits on this map. We're going to see if we can do the same to you as you did to us in the first map.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Veda's running because I cannot actually see her Medigun, but it is Uber now. The thing is with crits, like I said, I like crits when it's a surprise, and you usually don't have a surprise at the end of the start of the game here. The sticky is taking Tercio is so weak! Oh my god, he's dodging, but Tercio was 8 HP right now, so red team doesn't have to have a medic here on the mid fight. Justice is trying to make this way behind of the red concrete area. Stinghand is gonna be molested by Justice, but he kind of just dodges around as everybody's just sliding for me here, CeeJaey.
Oh wow, yeah, Justice, like, he's showing, he was pushing the cart earlier, now he's showing what he can do. And he picks up 2 frags there, including Stinghand. So Stinghand, like I said at the start, not getting protected by his team there, and just gets taken down very, very easily. But Tuja picks up 2 there, takes on Tomato and Sandburn. So not much pressure coming in there, and no one's actually touched the point for Alcaltu. Starting to get on the point now with Joe, and the Uber is used. They're getting really aggressive. Tercio obviously running that crits, and they probably know about this. And like you said, if it's a surprise, it works well. But if it's not a surprise, and you just take that Uber into them, they can't protect themselves. But Layla goes down. Layla goes down to a mini sentry. Barrett there, with the assistance of some P, manages to take down the medic. Kudu also goes down to the pipes of Yixo, and that means Tercio has his crits in the bank ready to use to recontest this point distance. And so Gimme opponent coming back into this map.
Oh man, I feel like the blitz from Harm in the Mother now because I was actually reloading my HUD as this happened. I just heard you scream, so I would have liked to see a medic drop or at least die to a mini sentry, but I have no idea what just happened. But it looks like Gimme opponent does have the point right now. The time is ticking in their favor. This is the first lead they've had all evening. The Joe N is already making his way in here. Tombi gets the backstab on Kunu, which is really nice, so no sniper entry frags for Feila. And Stinghand is just doming Call2, so this is gonna be starting the push. As Tertia decides to go aggressive here, they do pop the crits, they could get Layla right away. Joe dies again. Justice goes down on the flank as well. We have a pyro battle going on, all kinds of madness here, and this was a successful crits play.
Yeah,
Yay.
That was a really good crits. Took down the key players, took down the medic, that's the very least you want to do. Also took down Joe, and then we see there Strenaway dying quite out of sync with his team, so he's in the respawn queue while the rest of his team are trying to contest. Tommy there jumps down, tries to get onto the medic, but he can't, he gets taken down by the stickies of Joe. So this may be difficult now, and there we go. Domator gets the backstab onto Stinger, but Yixo takes down later. I'm not sure if that was a sticky trap or just some spam, but the medic is down again for Feila here. Tercio is still alive, 70% crits. He doesn't really have that much help, but Yixo is doing the best he can. Yellow has actually put a level 2 sentry on mid, and Strenaway is trying to protect it from the spam, so it's very difficult for Gimme opponent to actually try to block the point here. Justice is getting on that and taking advantage of that space to actually get some cap time. We see Sandburn jumping onto Stinger. Oh, a nice little air shot there to take down the sniper. 4 down here, including Tertier, who died there to the pipes from Joe. And Feila eSports again with the dry pushes, Stinson, just having great success with the DM.
What they're doing, they have the point, they have the medic pick, but they just kind of let the engineer plant a sentry gun behind the point and let them cap it off. And once they cap it off, they can just move forward, kill the medic. Gaming opponent should have just coordinated the spam on the gun for like a second. It would have gone down, and then you could have pushed the heals or at least held up the heals. But Feila just recap this point. This is kind of heartbreaking, but they're still in the lead. Game opponent are. Tertio's back up. I'm not sure what Medigun is running. It looks like it is Uber.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a wise decision. They actually no, Tercio's on crits. He's running back to spawn. He's at 85% crits, but actually no. I'm looking at Tercio, and Layla used her Uber for some reason, so she got forced from something. I'm going to assume it was bees.
She's on crits as well. They're trying to figure out. They probably got the call. They're on the cliff, and that's why they just kind of crits in there, assuming they would hit anything. But Ixo now makes his way in, gets Mezzo right away. Struder goes down as a pyro. There's no deny of failure, and they have to back out. This is going to be a recap. Nicely played here.
I'm glad you're here, Stinson, so that I actually know what's going on. Because clearly I'm losing my touch. I have no idea what's going on. But yes, Tercio and Layla both using the crits, but Layla does have a bit of an advantage right now. She's at 55%. Tercio is only at 45%, although he is quickly catching up. And Gimme opponent in a decent position here, but Barrett and Tuja both go down there in quick succession, so that's a lot of defensive firepower out of the game. Tommy gets a nice backstab onto Kunu, so no sniper. That's going to give a lot of space for Stinson to maybe get some spikes, but no, doesn't matter. Domator comes in and gets him as well. That's the lack of a Razorback for both snipers, getting focused so hard here by the spies. And it does look like Feila are going to recapture the point, but only 47 seconds left for Gimme opponent to actually recap and win this first round. And we're going to see crits on crits here, Stinson.
I appreciate that you just made me a prem sniper, but Kunu is sniping for a red team here for Gimme opponent. I think you said Stinson there for a second, but yeah, it's gonna be a crit standoff. Whoever catches each other out first is gonna get the advantage here. Both demo men should be being tanked now. As the red crits goes out, they throw the first Hail Mary. They're not getting anything though. Smartly backing off is Gimme opponent, is Failure as the sniper goes down to Tomato. Now the recrit's gonna come. There you go. Blue team pops out the crits. Joe just kind of spamming the stickies over the point, but nobody is being touched by anything, and Luna goes down.
Scruff with the balls of steel. He just doesn't care. Oh my god, they're actually going to win this. Justice is trying to fight on the point. Surely he's going to die here. Bees sacrifices himself, but the Scruff won that. Scruff, and he's still winning. He takes down Joe. He just looked at Demo, Medic, and Pyro, who are running crits, almost like, I don't give a damn. He just charged straight into them, killed Stren away in no time whatsoever. And that created the distraction for Yixo to walk across, fling some pipes, and take down Layla. So Yixo there takes down Kaltu. And Fungus with a nice reflect onto his former teammate Samburn there. And we do see Feila eSports with this repush here. They're on the dry push, but the Kritz comes in. Layla goes down to Tommy. Another backstab for him. Yixo picks up Strono 8. So there is no Pyro to defend this point either. Gimme opponent just need to hold on for 10 more seconds, and they're going to take the first round. Tercio does die though, Stinson. And Feila are going to try and frag this. He's basically DM right now.
I do think Feila is going to get the recap here just because they have faster response. Both medics went down though. I would like to see Tercio go onto the quick fix now, because that's a really good option if you can't get an Uber or Kritz together before the round ends, just because it heals so fast. And to push this point with heals now, as Feila is trying to get the forward hold here on the cliff, but wisely backing off here. Kaltu is on the point back. Beast is in a 1v1 on the flank with Sandburn. Sandburn goes down actually. So a nice frag here, and they have to go though. It's only 10 seconds, CeeJaey.
10 seconds, they need to actually stand on the point. There is a level 1 by Yellow. He's trying to build it up to a level 2 as quickly as he can, which he just managed to do. Tercio goes down though to the pipes. Yixo is down as well. TJ down as well. So much damage coming in from Feila eSports. Fungus is on the point trying his best. The Stinkhand just throws Pete onto a bunch of people on the point. It's only Beast, but he's not going to be able to do a 1v5. Feila eSports stand on the point. They're going to take that first round double overtime there between the two teams.
Yeah,
so close.
I'm liking it. Maybe there is some life left in Gimme opponent here on King of the Product. As we go onto the second mid, Feila still on the blue team. Joe gets the first sticky off the mid, and Ixo goes the other way again. CeeJaey, take us away.
Yeah, we do see some fat stickies from Joe, just getting some damage down. Yixo under a lot of pressure, but Joe is 2 HP and he goes down to Yixo. Wins that demo fight. Fungus takes that space now onto the point. Kaltu gets headshot there by Stinghand, who rings off with a nice big frag there. So 2 big players down for Feila. Fungus just trying to spy check. He's just keeping his team away. Justice, who was on a flank. Samburn and Justice were behind, but they're just getting denied here. And that cap does go down for Gimme opponent again, so they're going to win the second mid fight in a row. Can they take advantage of needing into a round? But Bees is on the direct hit here, Stinson. Do you think that sentry, that level 2 sentry shenanigans from Yellow is having an effect on them?
Exactly. That's what I was going to get at. It's actually quite smart, even if it's just mini sentries. But now you have Uber versus Kritz. We are terrible customers because we did not see that Tercio actually was still on the Kritz, and Layla smelled it out. Pop the Uber into the face of the Kritz, which you should do if you have that. And the medic goes down here, but 4 frags in favor of Feila. This should be a recap. Oh, it's a nice reflect by Fungus here. Actually, the second reflect on Product against his former teammate. And Feila is kind of a little bit slow here going onto the point because Ixo is spamming a lot of damage, and Tercio actually has to run now. He's gonna be molested as Turno goes into him, but Tercio gets out.
That was actually well played there by Gimme opponent under the circumstances. They used the crits, took down Strono 8, and Joe also died, and Fungus picked up a few frags there, which just delayed the cap even longer. So they got 55 seconds chalked off the time there. They are going to be an uber disadvantage, but Joe there gets taken down by Stingham. There's a few shooting, and Tommy comes in, double backstab to take down Layla and Kunu. That is huge. Tomato gets taken down by Scruff, but no one cares about that. That is sniper, demo, and medic down. Gimme opponent flood forward now.
Oh my god,
Strono 8
Ixo just killed his own medic by reflect pipe of Strono. That is not what you want to see if you just had a big momentum change like that.
That is a blemish on what was otherwise a perfect passage of play for Gimme opponent, but they're not going to mind too much. They're only going to be about 20% behind Layla, and Layla she's running the medigun, so she's just kind of chilling on that. And there is quick fix from Tercio, so maybe he's taking maybe he's been listening to the cast and just wants that extra heals, who knows. But again, Feila eSports going in with this dry push and just walking forward. Joe is so very weak, he does get taken down, reflect, killed by Fungus. How many is that now? Yixo and Bees do go down though to Kaltu, who also picks up Barrett, a 3k for him, and everyone else just gets fragged there, Stinson. Down a minute behind here, but these dry pushes from Feila.
I don't care what anyone says, but Fungus still got it. This the third reflect in 2 rounds here, and coming back to the medigun choice here, I do like quick fix against Uber. Back in the days, it used to be quick fix kind of wins against Uber on King of the Hill, but it uses the crits. You have this 3-way round where you kind of like try to outguess your medic.
Yeah, like a rock
opponent.
paper scissors.
Yeah, exactly, rock paper scissors kind of situation. And I do like the quick fix, but you do know how to play it as well, because it does not protect against spies, it does not protect against snipers, as Scruff, Bees, and Ixo go for it.
Yixo gets the drop! He just comes in there with the Iron Bomber. Bam, bam, thank you, man. And Layla goes down. That is a big job. Tercio has only got a couple of players alive to keep him company as Feila eSports just decide, okay, we're going to do a forward hold anyway. I think Sandburn's got a conch ready to help out there. But Tercio is actually on the crits. He's at 90% crits. And, you know, I think if they use this, this may be a surprise. CeeJaey just go down there, which is unfortunate. But here comes the crits. Onto Yixo. Can he get anything done? He's going to fling some stuff over. Yellow goes down. Bees actually gets a frag there onto Sandburn. So this may be enough for them to cap, but it's probably not as much as they wanted, as, again, these spies are just absolutely crushing the snipers, and this must be heartbreaking to play right now. But Kunu does take down Yixo. That is pretty big for him. I think Gimme opponent are going to cap it, Stinson, but at what cost?
Yeah, and the cost of the instant recap and maybe Tertia even losing his life, but he wisely backs off here. What happened there is they did not have a successful crits, but everybody from Feila just kind of tried to suicide onto the medic here, and then they got killed doing that. No one actually died by the actual crits, but you know they got kind of fragged while sacking for the medic, and Tertia did survive. And now we're gonna have a good fat crits advantage, I believe, for Tertia.
Yeah, because Layla died there. She got backstabbed by Tommy earlier on. Stinger opened things up with a kill onto the engineer. He has been causing trouble in this game. And I think the fear of the crits should be enough for Gimme opponent to just walk forward here. Barrett's the furthest one forward, but no one's helping him. Take advantage. You've got better buffs. You've got the advantage. As the crits does come down, it takes down Kunu. Can it take down anyone else? Layla is trying to escape for her life. That crits just barely misses her. There's a crit shotgun. Garden Fungus takes down Joe and Kaltu. Tertia gets backstabbed there by Tomato, but I think Gimme opponent are going to come out on top here. They're very, very weak, and the respawns are going to be much better for Feila, but Layla herself has survived. She's at 70% in spawn on the Medigun, and Tercio and Stinghan are not up for another few seconds, so it's going to be very, very difficult for them to hold this with no heals and no sniper.
I do love the crit splash there by Tercio onto the Pyro, just to, you know, shotgun the people that are close to the medic. Because they are gonna rush you, and you know you have a Pyro next to you. Why not just, you know, flash the crits there for a second and get the 300 damage meter test? Ixo gets domed by Kunu right here. Tercio actually gets caught out by Joe, and the blue Uber just completely catches Gimme opponent off guard here. It's an instant recap, and it's 2-0 in favor of Feila eSports, but two really close rounds, CeeJaey.
Yeah, it shows you how crucial that med pick would have been. If that crit sticky had landed on Layla's face, taken her down, there would have been no Uber advantage on that last fight, and I reckon Gimme opponent may have actually won that. But coming up against a full Uber is always very difficult. We see another mid fight here, big jump in from Bees. Tujago is the first casualty, gets headshot by Kunu. Bees, though, getting in from behind, does take down the sentry and the engineer, but Gimme opponent have lost 4 players here. Tercio was also very weak. They have to be careful before they actually get wiped here. Yixo is still trying to fight. Barrett there did take down Kaltu, but no, everybody is falling apart by the wayside. Tercio does survive. He is running the crits once again. He's at 60%, but Layla on the point with the rest of her team running the Uber. She's going to have her charge up and ready, and Stinson, it's all going to be about, can someone, you know, have a little bit of magic happen to get onto Layla and either force or kill her.
You know, one reason to use crits is it builds faster than the Uber gun, right? But if you don't have anyone to heal on the mid fight because everybody's just down, it won't build faster. And now you're in this awkward situation where the crit streak is actually not ready in time. As the crit streak gets popped up here, they try to catch out, but you know, they know it's coming, so the blue Uber is popped and they can't deny it. They're only losing Kaltu in this exchange, and I'm not sure if that's gonna be enough to retake the point, as actually Joe was greedy, gets caught out, and now it's time to go.
I mean, the demo's points are just so high. They're receiving the benefit of the heals, the benefit of the crits. You know, they're outscoring their medics by some margin, and yeah, I mean that was really well played by them there. They used the crits. They knew they were coming up against Nuba. They managed to get a frag, a kill on the heavy. That's pretty big. Kaltu went down, and then they just backed away, kept Tercio alive, and then tried to, you know, get the frags on the chases, which was Joe. So that worked out well for them. But they are bleeding players now. 3 players die there, just again on the dry push from Feila, but the crits comes in. Justice goes down. Kunu is still very weak. He will die. Layla goes down. Garden Fungus, huge play from the Pyro, comes in and takes down the medic, but surely here Feila eSports are just going to recapture anyway, and Layla actually spawns in time, so that med pick basically fades away into irrelevance, as it's going to be equal Ubers. But they could just dry push this again. I think that's what Gimme opponent need to do, Stinson. They need to just kind of walk forward and, you know, just as Garden Fungus there is reflecting Sandburn. He gets a frag. Gets a frag. Spawn Cam, can you get Justice as well? He's on 7 HP.
No way, there's no way he's gonna get another frag. Oh yeah, there you go. But yeah, Garden Fungus. Well, actually, I'm not sure if that's a good play by Garden Fungus though, because you'd kind of need a pirate to be with you, and now he's gonna be in the respawn chamber. But yeah. 2 minutes and 19 seconds left for Gimme opponents. 1.5 minutes exactly, as Culto is probably gonna get stepped in. No, Tomi gets cut out. I'm kind of trying to find reasons to bash Culto, but it's not really happening. As Gimme opponent is coming in here, they actually can just cap on the point here and kind of bait Feila onto it. And there's nobody around. There's nobody home, CeeJaey.
Nobody home, and we do see Joe getting aggressive with the Uber again. He wants to try to get onto Tercio. He takes a lot of damage. Justice is going to chase him, will take him down. I'm pretty sure that was a crits drop. Doesn't really matter though, but they are getting some frags. Joe, Strono, and Justice all go down in quick succession, but it turns into a bit of a DM fest. Sandburn comes in from behind to take down Yik, so when the demo is down, it's very hard for you to deal any more damage. They are going to get the... oh no, if they just delayed it a little bit longer, Sting Hand could have been up. Oh, if I was Sting Hand, I wouldn't be happy. Just delay it by half a second. He would have been up, but instead he gets a delayed spawn with his demo. So it's going to be hard for them to hold. And once again, Joe is like, we don't care, we're going to walk forward. We do see this banner has been used. Sandburn jumps in, manages to help with the frag onto Garden Fungus, who so far is actually the first casualty of 3. Tercio picks up a nice frag onto Justice though, and they may actually really contest this, Stinson.
No, at this point it's too late, but actually they do get a nice frags here at the end of this. The mini sentry has been cleaned up, and then there's only the sniper watching the point. So yeah, it is a recap. I'm not sure what's happening here, because I was trying to make a point like 1 minute ago about how Tercio shouldn't have been caught out by this Uber, but there's already so much happening that I can't really get into it. As Culto is just chilling on this cliff here, it's his best buddy. Tomato makes his way across the point, and
oh, drop! Yixo with the crits! There was Joe was just doing the Joe thing again, charging forward, and Yixo has the crits popped onto him, flings a sticky up into the air, and takes down Layla before she's able to use her charge. And Tercio did die in that exchange. So you know, the Ubers are pretty much going to be equal, but the most important thing right now is the fact that Gimme opponent are still in control. And look at Layla. What's Layla doing so far forward by herself? Has to be careful there. They are designed to walk forward now. Garden Fungus and Bees are down, which is a lot of stopping power out. And Tercio goes down! Sandburn just jumps over the head of Tuja and lands 2 rockets straight into the medic's face. He is dead. Feila eSports are on the point. They're getting so much ground and so many frags. Layla gets backstabbed by Tommy, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough, as Garden Fungus is trying valiantly to try and defend this point and try to maybe get some frags, but he gets piped there by Joe. And Feila eSports within touching distance here, Stinson, of their first Platinum title.
it's only 10 seconds left on the clock here. Gimme opponent has to from this point. They do have the response advantage, but Ixo is taking a lot of damage. He's so low, just Sneeze will finish him up. But they do get the recap with 50 seconds off. But now it's the question, can they hold this though? They do get nice frags here, and now they have to hold the point for once. Turch is on 50% Uber, so he has an advantage over Layla. Is it Uber though? I wonder. No, it is quick fix on Turcho, and Layla is running Medigun. Okay, so Ixo is gonna have his charge before Layla does. Let's see if they can hold it here.
I'm not sure if Layla's actually going to get her charge before the time runs out. So this quick fix charge could be huge. But in comes Joe. He just flings so much damage over. Tercia goes down. There is going to be no charge for Gimme opponent here. Tommy does take down that demo. There's only 2 players left alive for Gimme opponent. It is a few seconds. Tusha comes in here, so does Yixo, but they're going to get taken down. Uber is used onto the point, and the spawns surely aren't going to get there in 2 seconds, Stinson. They are going to capture that point, make it 3-0. Nice, GG. Feila eSports are your European UGC Platinum Highlander champions for the first time. They take it 2 maps to 0. They don't drop a round. 1-0 on Upward and 3-0 on Product. It was close. I mean, Upward wasn't close. Let's be honest.
No, it was not close.
That was a roll. But I mean, Product has been close. That could have easily been a 3-0 the other way.
Yeah, of course. I mean, all 3 rounds. We had double overtime almost on 2 rounds, and 1 round where there were 25 seconds left. And I really feel like they deserve to win 1 round here, CeeJaey, at least. I do not want to get into medic discussion here, but Teleshow did not position himself smartly, in my opinion, in this last round at least, from what I've seen. But I don't know.
It's a different game. It's a different game. You know, if you're running crits, you have to play a certain way. And if you're playing crits against Uber and you're too far forward, you're going to get caught out. There's nothing you can do. So you do have to. There was a couple of moments there where they played it right. They used the crits. They moved forward. They got a frag, they got a force, and then they kind of kited it and then re-pushed afterwards. That was what they should have done every single time. But too many exchanges there didn't go their way. Just taking a look at the logs, and the interesting thing is the top 3 fraggers were actually all on Gimme opponent. Yixo there with 27, Tuju with 23, and Garden Fungus with 21. Actually, there's 4 players on 21. Justice, Kaltu, and Kunu also got 21 kills there. Lots of damage. Actually, Joe was just nearly about 100 DPM behind Yixo. So I suppose Yixo with that perma crits for most of the game really worked out for him at least. But actually, Layla and Tercia died the same number of times. They both died 12 times. So it's very difficult to see there what went wrong. When you see the difference in the stats, I mean, Gimme opponent got 142 kills. Feila eSports 146. They dropped twice, whereas Gimme opponent didn't drop at all. So you could argue, it looked like Gimme opponent may have had the edge there, but in the end, it is Feila eSports who just made the better of their exchanges. For those dry pushes, just walking across the point, they weren't prepared for them. But we are joined by some people from the winning team. We do have Joe and Kunu from Feila eSports. So congratulations, guys. How are you feeling?
Thank you.
Okay, I guess. Pretty easy.
Oh, okay.
Wow, shots being fired here. I mean, to be fair, Upward did look pretty easy there, at least after you rode on the crits on the press point. Joe, what was your... I'm curious, what happened in the comms in the pre-game? Was it a spontaneous decision to run crits on the offense? Because usually if people run crits, it's on the defense. Did you just want to establish dominance, or what was the thought process behind that?
So Layla asked me if I want to go crits. I said yes, and that was it.
Right, so it was not a strategy that you thought out months before that happened.
She asks every time we play a map, and I just say yes or no, and that's it. So.
Right, fair enough.
What were you feeling like before the game? Like, you guys beat them in the upper bracket final last week, I want to say. Can't remember when it was. Yeah, so you obviously had the upper hand. You could afford to technically lose today and just come back Thursday to win it. But how are you? Were you confident that you were just going to kind of seal it out in this fashion?
Yeah, definitely. We at the end of the day, we have a better sniper. So what can you do?
Do you think it would have been different if Kunu had been playing for them? As he has done in the TF2 HUD. If you had somebody different, do you think it would have been a tighter exchange?
Yeah, I would think it would be a closer game.
Kunu, how are you feeling about the sniping against a lot of your ETF2L teammates?
Oh, it's great fun. It's great fun playing against them. It's so my dominance. I am the reason why that we win every game this season. He says well.
Right on cue when Kunu said that. We have Stinghan joining the comms. And Ixo from Gimme opponent. Stinghan, your opposition tonight just roasted you. What do you think about Kunu and why are you better than him?
Well, I think I'm better than him because I have more brain, but he got more aim, so that's not really good for me.
Sniper isn't about brain, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like how you're just admitting that you are brainless, Kunu. I think we'll have to make sure someone clips that. But commiserations, Stinghan and Igik. So you did put up a hell of a fight there in the second map. I do have to say though, what happened on Upward? It just seemed a bit chaotic from the defensive point of view.
I don't know. There was mess. We were like, if you're gonna win that grand final, we're gonna play on first day, and we were like, whatever. Just play. Let's just play. But yeah, we throw a bit. Let's say a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed like that attack kind of set the tone. Once the attack was over, it was like, all right, kind of maybe focus on the second map already. And Yixo, you top fragged, you top damaged. Obviously benefiting there a lot from the crits, but you did have some big plays. We were talking about it earlier, the 3 highest fraggers on that map was actually yourself, Garden Fungus, and I can't remember the other person. I'm going to have to double check. It was TJ, yes. What do you think went wrong on product? I mean, if you're getting that many frags, what was the reason that it wasn't closer than a 3-0?
I don't know. Like, I feel like we just gave the enemies too much ground on the point all the time. I felt like I was alone quite a bit on product.
Yeah, exactly. And they have Cough on Sniper, and I couldn't counter snipe him tonight. Only tonight. And yeah, we gave them too much ground. They were better tonight, so yeah.
I want to know, Garden Fungus had quite some reflect kills, so what went through your head when actually the other pyro, when you killed your own medic with the pipe? Did you notice that, and what were your feelings? Did you apologize to him?
I don't know. Like,
yeah,
you just came around the corner as I shot the pipe and it just reflected into my medic.
So you did not intentionally shoot the pyro?
No.
Oh, damn. There was some meme potential here.
That just sounds like a demo making an excuse. From the medic point of view, it's never your fault. You get reflect killed, you just have to say nothing and just go... And then, everybody
exactly
knows.
I think from what I know about Ixo, I think he did that on purpose. But I want to see Tessio get absolutely slammed.
I do agree.
Goddamn Cough, why do you expose me all the time?
Just one last question. I'll ask the Gimme opponent boys first. You guys are playing mostly this roster tonight, playing ETF2L. You had a nice win last night. How do you see this has this kind of been a decent warm up for you? Do you think you guys are in decent form for the rest of the season? Do you think you can maybe take on Feila under the banner of Envision and maybe get some points from them?
I think we can do that, because why not? We have a pretty good roster with Cough Sniper and like good scouts, Soldier, Pyro. We got 1 HP, shot us 2 Kronk. So yeah. Like actually we have 3 Prem level Pyro, so. And actually we have Tommy, we have Tuja, Tersho. I think it's just like real, okay? We can do that.
Okay.
That's good. And confidence, I like it. And Joe,
Yeah.
You guys have had 1 win and 1 defeat so far in ETF2L, and this is your first UGC Platinum title for Feila eSports. Do you think you can take this momentum? Second, is it? You guys won?
Well, I played in a different team.
Yeah. I mean, like for Feila eSports, like the team. This is the team's first UGC. Do you think you can take that momentum as a squad and transfer that over to ETF2L? Do you think playoffs are going to be within your reach?
Yeah, 100%. We have Cloudy, so we're never gonna lose.
Well, that didn't work out for you last season. I'm bad what I did it.
Yeah, definitely.
320.
I'll see you there then, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll just make you rage quit, like usual, right?
What?
I'll say Queenie.
Well, I mean, word on the street is that you have sometimes you rage too, Joe. So
Yeah, check out my Twitch clip if you want. I don't mind. You can see.
Gold mine right there.
Still better than most demos, so I don't mind.
I mean, you do have a confident young man here. I mean,
I am.
that's fair. He just won his first title in his career. And CeeJaey, should we wrap this thing up then?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to tell the folks watching about the upcoming casts?
Yeah, so I believe we have ETF2 Premiership Week 3 coming up for you guys on Wednesday. If we have casters, so watch out on Twitter, Facebook, and every other social media you can access. We will hopefully see Feila eSports again against Red Chess Club on Wednesday, and on Thursday, hopefully Envision versus Super Digmans.
We're gonna play that on Sunday.
Who's we?
Envision.
Envision.
To Sunday.
Envision, okay. Envision will move to Sunday. So hopefully we'll get a cast together for Wednesday. Feila versus Turret Chess Club. And then we see you on Sunday for sure for Envision, Super Digments, and the Crows are the strong opinions, where we hopefully get to play CeeJaey. Get to play CeeJaey. Right?
Yes.
CeeJaey versus Kronk.
CeeJaey versus Kronk, indeed. We're going to do some quick shout outs, guys. We're going to run down alphabetically. As always, Kunu, anyone to shout out to?
Shout out to Polygon and everyone who plays PugChamp.
Nice. Joe, any shout outs?
Shout out to Layla and Absent.
Cool. Stingin?
Shout outs to casters and every team in Prem. And to my team on UGC.
Thank you. And Yixo?
Shout out to Casters, Wiethoofd, Devious, Redwood, and Garden Fungus.
Thank you much. And finally, saving the best till last as always. Stinson, have you got any shout outs?
Yeah, I do have shout outs this time around. Shout out to all the UGC admins, unappreciated, who made the season happen, because the season's over now, and without the admins, this would not have been possible. So shout out to Garden Fungus, to Ambi, to Kumori, who's the head admin for TF2 and UGC. A shout out to the teams, to Wiethoofd, to CeeJaey. It's always been a pleasure. And shout out to Via.
Thank you very much. Yes, this is the curtain call. This is the finale of the UGC season. So you have been watching the grand final. UGC Platinum, EU, Highlander, Feila eSports winning 2-0 against Gimme opponent to, as a team, win their first Platinum title. Of course, there'll be more UGC coming up next season, but we do have one more grand final for you to watch. There is a grand final from the North American side. It's going to be casted by VoxDie tonight. So if you're a European and you want to stay up a little bit late, you can check that out. If you're American, you can just watch it at like your normal time. But that will be happening tonight, so you can see which team ends up as the American champion. Also, don't forget to check out the KritzKast Patreon, as we are allowing or asking people if they want to donate some money to help with the funds for the casters, for the production, everything behind the scenes, and to help KritzKast keep doing the Highlander cast. But finally, cheeky shout out as well to Jacob Watty. He wasn't able to make it tonight. He was going to be my casting partner, but unfortunately he wasn't feeling too well. Hopefully he gets better soon, but fortunately, that allowed Stinson to be my co-caster. So thank you very much for joining me, and Wiethoofd, as always, for doing amazing production all season in UGC and for the TF2 HUD season. He's been doing a brilliant job on cameraman. So thank you very much to everybody for putting on a great show tonight. We'll see you later on in the week for more TF2 action. Have a good night.